the great Henry Winkler of Barry, currently airing on HBO. Henry, it's great to have you. Thanks so much for making this happen.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
I'll tell you, I've been a fan of Barry since the very first episode, and every season you know to expect the unexpected, but I'm not sure anything can prep you for season 4.
No, you know what? I have to say that this is out of the mind of Bill Hader, and I don't think you ever want to go in there alone.
He is really, it's remarkable. People talk about him, obviously, for years as a comedian, as an impressionist, but he's now being talked about as an auteur because of what he's able to bring here.
Here's the thing. That bit on SNL was a diversion. It was like a sidebar. He wanted to be a director. He came to Hollywood to be a director. And all of a sudden, he was on Saturday Night Live, and now he's doing his dream.
So you think there's going to be more things of this scale from him in the future?
Oh, my gosh. His mind is like Mount Vesuvius. I am one of the great moments of my life is that I met Alec Berg and Bill Hader and was invited to be part of this ensemble.
Tell me the story really quick about how that almost didn't happen, because you did have some other projects that potentially could have complicated your casting.
Years ago, my daughter, her husband, Rob, who is an incredible builder, they were fixing their house. They had a baby who was 1. His name was Ace, our grandson. And they lived with us for a year and a half. It was divine. As a matter of fact, I tried to make a contract where the parents would go and live in their new house and come visit Ace, but it didn't work. So my son, my youngest son, who was a director, writer, producer, Max, and Rob, my son-in-law, created a show called The Winklers. And we did the pilot for ABC about all of us living together and what ensued. It got right to the wire. It didn't go. And I think if that was on the air, I would not be available to do Barry. So it was serendipitous.
Talk to me a bit about how you created Cousineau. I know you've talked about this in the past, but he does seem to be some amalgamation of your own instructors over the years, and then sort of I don't know, is he a collection of what the LA acting teacher is like?
Not just LA, anywhere. He is very self-centered, but he is based on a teacher who was very popular here in Hollywood. I had 14 teachers to draw from. I love the opportunities I get to teach. I taught about, I think, 7 classes so far in over the years. And my imagination, what would it be like to inhabit this man? And out came Cousineau.
I've heard you quoted saying that he is, I don't know, is he crazy? Or is it that he was crazy and he's dramatically changed into a different person who's less selfish as a result of this tragedy in his life?
He tries to be less selfish. He tries to redeem himself, but he cannot get out of his own way. And I think that's the premise for this last year of Barry. Is anybody redeemable?
What do we think the answer to that question is? Does Cousineau give you any clues?
Yeah, Cousineau is not. He did not go for the golden ring. He tried really hard and just couldn't help himself to be in the spotlight.
That's fascinating. HBO, I wonder your views on how supportive they've been. I mean, historically, they've given showrunners and creatives so much leeway. Has that been a constant in your experience here? And do you think this show could have existed as well at another streamer, for example?
That's a good question. My experience with watching HBO and knowing the human beings that we work with Casey Bloys, Amy Gravitt, who is the fairy godmother of our show, who said yes and has given Bill and Alec so much leeway. They trust their creators. They really do. They say, "Oh, could you make it a little funnier? Does it have to be so dark?" But they let the boys go where they need to go.
Yeah, I love the old stories about David Chase when HBO would have notes about The Sopranos, and he would literally just rip them up and tell everybody to get back to work.
Well, it's true. I mean, you know, when you have a real vision, there are some human beings, I have not experienced them at HBO, and our relationship now is over, unfortunately. But there are people who think that they have to participate when they don't quite understand the process in the same way that the creator writers do.
Yeah.
But the writers, let me just say, we're talking about writers. If it ain't on the page, it ain't on the stage. The writers striking, they are really the beginning. They're the heartbeat of every project that we do. If you don't have the writing, you can't hang your hat on anything.
Yeah, we've been talking to a lot of creatives about this lately, and I wonder if you think AI is the real X factor in this particular round, meaning this is something we've never had in prior rounds of negotiations. Do you think the studios are going to be so entrenched in a view that this is a cost savings, even if it eliminates one round of writing or gives you a basis?
You know what, Carl? I have to say, I don't know enough to answer that question. I will say that no matter how good AI is, it scares me more than it doesn't.
So you think the negatives could outweigh the upside potential for society, or at least in Hollywood?
I do. Look, we're telling human stories. When you connect with somebody, it's because they identify with your humanness, with what they're seeing, what they're hearing, and how that goes together. AI is, I am only a thought, not of my own, of a creation that is fed into me. That doesn't make for tenderness.
Yeah. It's funny, you know, on this digital series that you're on right now, a few years ago, we did Gary Marshall before he passed. We had a remarkable conversation. And I wonder sometimes...
He was a remarkable man.
Yes.
He gave me my life in Hollywood. I miss him every day. He was a wonderful friend.
I sometimes wonder what he would say now about this new era that we're in, to drive intent, right? It's so hard to get attention, as opposed to the things that you and he started in the 70s.
You know what? I will tell you, I don't know what he would say, but my instinct is he was so filled with imagination and with storytelling that he would just barrel forward. You know, I don't know that you can make entertainment that will touch you and make you think at the same time without human beings.
As for yourself, I'm looking at that Emmy over your shoulder. You've been in the pop culture.
I sometimes wear it as a necklace, but it was heavy. So I took it off for the interview.
Yes, that's why your neck muscles are extremely muscular. But you're winning Emmys, and yet you've been part of the pop culture firmament for 50 years. How does that happen, and how do you use it now? What are your dreams now?
I don't think it is a wonderful thing to win. It is a wonderful thing to win an award. You know, a lot of times my name has been called and my tush never left the seat. You know, it's really nice. But the doing, the piecing together, the jigsaw puzzle of creating a human being is refreshing. It is stimulating. It keeps you young. It is my joy, aside from my grandchildren, my children, my wife, my dogs, and fly fishing.
Yes, the fly fishing. I was waiting for that one. So are scripts piling in? Are you working harder than ever at trying to decide what to do next?
You know what? I'm having a wonderful time. I really am. I can't say anything because, I never talk about something unless it's something. Right now, they're just ideas and they are blossoming. But we have a new children's book coming out. Oh, I'm going to hold it up.
Oh, that's
How about
good.
that?
That's good.
Detective Duck. Can you see it?
Yes, very nice.
Okay. That comes out in October about a little duckling who dreams about being a detective. My autobiography comes out a month later on the day after my birthday, October 31st. I am just busy and happy. I really am. I think if you don't find something to do, you wither away like a raisin.
Yes. Well, that's what strikes me about you, Henry, is your presence is so positive, whether that's at Arrowhead Stadium, right, in football, or whether you're in New York watching a show on Broadway. Certainly your presence on social media is so positive. You don't seem sort of held back by the paranoia that a lot of celebrities have about maintaining their image.
You know what? You don't have an image. I'm not kidding. If I tried to maintain an image, my imagination would be cut in half. I would stop being Henry. It is a trap, and it's non-existent. It really, if you are true to yourself, people for years ask me, what is cool? And cool is being authentic. If you're authentic, you will be magnetic.
Maybe you say that, well, cool. When you say cool, I think of the Fonz. And when you say
That's
that,
right.
I think you're able to do all of this because you've already been one of the most iconic performers on television. And you've actually passed that.
Except, even when I was doing the Fonz, people said, "Well, you got to be cool. You can't. You have to have like an image and stuff." And I thought I would be just a non-person if I did that. I wouldn't be good to my children, to my wife, to the audience. I think you've got to just go with your passion, with your imagination.
Finally, on Barry itself, Henry, how do you want viewers to come away from this last season? Is it a dark view? I mean, is it a dark view about human nature and what we're willing to do to get? I'm not sure how this is
a view. It is not a view. It is a view of individuals. It is not an overview of the way the universe works. Bill Hader decided to direct all 8 episodes this year. He is the producer, the writer, the co-writer, the co-creator, my acting partner. And he is able to do it. My job is to help him meet his vision, his view.
right. But you're arguing that the show is sort of a collection of individual choices. It's not telling you how the world is.
No, it is this look at the world, not as the world turns, as the world is.
Right. Are you able to, is there improv or is everything pretty much written as we see it?
No. Bill is a terrific audience. So there are times when you can see us being in a scene. The camera is over his shoulder onto me. And I will just say something that comes into my mind. And you see his shoulders start to bounce. He's inclusive. He's directed. He is, no pun intended, he's clear. He is and a great guide. He is a great guide.
Is it true that he knows the scripts so well that sometimes he will mouth your lines as you're reading them?
All the time. You have to remind him, you're in a scene with me, Bill. You can't say my lines like that. But he's an adorable human being. And the chemistry we have, you can't make that up. You can't just decide we're going to have that. It's either there or it's not. And I have had that experience a few times in my life. Ron Howard, when I did the Fonz to his Richie, it was amazing how connected we were. He was from 18, I was 27. He was from lineage from Oklahoma. I was from lineage from Berlin. And yet we met in the middle.
That's fabulous. So you think the chemistry you have on scene with Hader is equivalent to what you once had on screen with Howard?
No doubt. No doubt. I couldn't be the Cousineau I am without his generosity.
That's fabulous. Henry, we're just so happy for you, and we just are looking forward to what comes next. Congratulations on your books and everything you've accomplished. It's just been remarkable to watch.
Thank you. And also very nice, unfortunately, to meet you through a screen. One day, I would like to shake hands in person.
Well, I've told you, the stage managers here at the Exchange have told me if Henry ever comes onto this floor, the place is going to lose its mind. So make it happen one day.
Wow. Thank you.
Henry Winkler
Have a
joining us on
wonderful rest of your day.
Henry, thank you so much.